Good afternoon, good evening. I'm already having Wi-Fi problems, as you can probably see, but I'm just going to welcome James straight in because this is a very impromptu stream. And yeah, I literally have been hoping and praying to the Wi-Fi gods. So let's welcome James all the way from Canada right into my screen. Where are you, Jamesy? How
How's it
you
going, my
doing?
dear?
It's good. I'm a little bit stressed with his Wi-Fi signal. I'm not stressed. I'm totally fine. It's just being a hindrance. But apart from that, I'm fine, Daddy Dozy. How are you?
About the same. I know you and I've been very much doing some crazy 2024 house cleaning, right? Washing walls and
Yes, yes.
baseboards and, yeah, getting ready to paint. So
And once you get into it, you find more things and more things. So yeah, it's good for the soul, I
it
believe.
is. It is, right? I totally believe it.
And it's in bulk, which is basically on the medicine wheel in the season for us open spiritual people, which is the perfect time. I think it's the 1st and the 2nd of February, and that is the perfect time for spring cleaning, as they call it.
Right.
So out with the old, in with the new. Clearing old energy always brings in new stuff, which is amazing. I don't need any new stuff. That's what I'm trying to get rid of. But yeah, to be honest with you, James, it showed me where my head's been for the last 3, 4 years, because the units that I've used. So I've got washing up. That's why we've got a different setup tonight, because we've got all the washing out. But I've just been putting things in boxes and just been like, deal with it later, deal with it later, deal with it later. And then when I've went into those boxes, I'm like, holy shit.
Yep.
Like, wow, finding stuff that I've been looking for ages, like things for like even my setup that I've been wanting, but I've actually already had it in a box. So yeah, I've been finding lots of stuff. I found old diaries from age 12, which
Oh,
was really good to read with Dylan. Although a couple of bits was a bit spicy, shall we say? And I was like, "Oh my god!" But I was 12. I was 12.
right.
So yeah, it was good. It was fun. Bedroom next. Bedroom next.
Excellent.
But you've
Excellent.
been painting and
Well, I
stripping
haven't
and
been
washing
painting
things,
yet.
haven't
I
you?
haven't been painting yet. Like there's wallpaper that's on wallpaper that has paint upon paint upon paint because this house is like 100 years old. So I'm bringing it
Wow.
right back to the original plaster and gonna do things properly,
Nice.
right? But as you're talking
Nice.
about
Nice.
finding things in boxes or putting things in boxes, I'll deal with it later. Let's bring that into
Hmm.
our own lives about our emotions. And
Hmm.
I wanted to talk today to everybody about forgiveness and how important it is for us moving forward, and a lot of people's misconceptions on what forgiveness might mean. So they
Okay.
might, people that have been through some domestic violence or SA or
Mhm.
any of these types of abusive, chaotic patterns in their past may have a hard time forgiving their abuser because they think that for some reason or another that it actually forgives them karmically. But really and truly,
Mhm.
forgiving our abuser gives us back our power because they have taken power away from us. And by actually forgiving them and forgiving ourselves for many different reasons, it truly does release that bond that we hold to the abuse. And it allows us
Yes.
to move forward as we regain our own power. So it's
Yeah.
forgiving ourselves and the abuser at the same time by saying, I forgive myself for not knowing better or not being stronger or not speaking up for myself or not outing this abuser and just letting it slide. There's a lot of people that haven't fingered or finger pointed, sorry, the abuser. They just have labeled
Mhm.
themselves as somebody who's been through that type of abuse, and they hold on to it as much as they don't want to, as much as people want to heal. The truth in that forgiveness of the person who abused you is by gaining your own power. So
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
it's like happiness
Like,
in a
can I
codependent
say a wee
relationship.
thing? Can I just say a wee thing? And this is
Please do.
obviously myself being a warrior of nearly everything you've just said, domestic abuse, CSA, and what have you. Now, it doesn't mean that we go up to the person and say, "I forgive you." And I think a lot of people miss. They're like, I can't forgive that person. It's like, no, you're just letting go the anger, the hurt, the shame that you're carrying for that situation. It's not forgiving that person in their face and saying, it's all right, I understand. Because I'm sorry, there's some people that do not deserve that in my life and in others' lives. But for us, we have to forgive them.
Yeah,
Like, I think a lot of people think I couldn't forgive my abusers, and it's not physically going up to them or writing them a letter or whatever. It's letting it go. If
yeah,
we hold on to that shame and guilt or whatever, all it's going to do is make us ill. Disease causes disease. And I think that stops a lot of people doing the forgiveness. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter saying, I could never forgive my abuser, and they've ruined my life. And well, you're holding that and you're
right.
carrying it on, so you're kind of self-destructing.
Well, and
Um,
you're
and
giving
I
them the
think
power still.
yeah, exactly. Sorry, I just had to interject because I say this to a lot of people that come to me for healing. You got to forgive the people, and I see people change inside because they're like, I could never forgive that person. You're not saying it to their face, you're saying it to yourself.
Yes.
What's happened. It's in our soul contract. Unfortunately, we've had to go through the abuse, the trauma, the horrific things that we've had to become the people that we are. You
Yeah.
know, and it is hard. It is.
Exactly.
There's people that I'm like, I will never forgive them, but I have because I don't carry anything for them.
Right.
It's
It
gone.
doesn't mean
It's
if you
gone.
see them. It doesn't mean if you see them at the pub, you should say, "Hey, come have a pint." It doesn't mean
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
see them at the
yeah.
local grocery that you should, go and be all chummy and friends again. You're exactly
No,
right. It doesn't mean
but
go up to their
you
face and
should
be like,
hold
"Hey,
your head high.
yes,
Hold your
yes,
head high instead of looking down and being like, oh, there's that guy, good old person situation. You're more like, I am free. Not you don't even have to let on to them, just head high. Because at the end of the day, it wasn't our fault. Other people were in dark places, projected their unhappiness, abuse, violence, whatever onto us. So yeah, I mean, that's a brilliant starting point because it's so enriching and enlightening not to carry anger for people anymore.
yep,
And
yep,
it eats us up. It's like drinking poison and expecting another person to die. It's not going to do anything. They're getting on about their lives and they're all happy, and we're sitting raging at this person. What's that going to do? Make
it's
us ill. So
it's
yeah,
true.
I let a
It's
lot
true.
of people
So
go.
with that of being self-empowering and regaining our own power, it brings in that confidence, right?
Mhm.
And that comes down to a lot of things of people. If you don't forgive yourself, you are destined to repeat the behaviors and find yourselves in most likely a toxic relationship. Being an
Absolutely.
interdependency is a healthy relationship. Sorry, whether it be
Hmm.
codependency for
Yeah,
happiness,
yeah,
right? Is
codependency.
like, I'm
Yes,
not happy
yes,
without this
absolutely.
person over here, or they're not happy without me. That's unhealthy, right? You need to gain your
Hmm.
power back
Hmm.
because if you put your happiness in someone else's hands, they can take it away, right?
Absolutely. You've got to
So
have discernment in relationships and things like that. Absolutely. And it's
so for the
hard because,
people,
you find somebody and you're like, latch on and everything's great. But if you're depending on that person or what you are doing for your own personal happiness, then you're on a path of destruction yourself
right,
because it's not going to happen.
exactly.
Oh, there's Kim
So
Upton. Sorry, I feel bad because the comments are going and I've not said hi to everybody. I'm just going
yes,
to
I'd
quickly
like to say
say,
hi to Shane first off,
everybody.
brother. I love you so
Yes,
much. Thank you
yes,
for being here. And
he
I
is
see my
here.
sister Kim
Yes,
and Crazy Bunny. I see you
he's
guys
here too.
coming up. I love
Yeah,
you all so much. Thank you so much for being here. I
absolutely.
love you guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. It means a lot. It was last minute, James. We were going to pre-record it. I have had major Wi-Fi problems, like you know, but it turns out a lot of people have got Wi-Fi problems. So yeah, basically, thanks for joining us. If you're watching on repeat, even better. We will share this. I didn't promote it, so thank you for being here, even though you didn't know where we're coming.
Yes,
Which is funny.
exactly. So therefore, if we can discern and say, I'm not going to put my happiness in this other person's hands, then we
Mhm.
can learn that we're putting happiness in our own hands, which we do by forgiving our abusers. We give ourselves the power to be, you know what, I'm not going to be angry anymore, because anger is poisoning you. It's toxic, toxic,
Yep.
toxic, right? And
Yes.
fear is toxic. So people, just know that you deserve love and that you are loved, and you need to forgive yourself and forgive the abuser. And like Zoe has said, it doesn't mean call them up or write them a letter and say, I forgive you for all of the horrible things that you've done. Just separate, to the best of your ability, that person and replace it with people of abuse, because there's abusive people out there and you just happen to fall victim of one. It doesn't mean you're a victim anymore. You got to get past the victimization stage. And we all go back there.
Exactly.
Even I do. I play the victim, and sometimes I want some pity, and right, because we're not perfect. So
Life's not easy, James. You know that things do hit us, things happen. Um, and it's how we deal with things. As you say, if you're going to keep making the same mistakes, you're just going to keep coming back. You're just going to keep getting the same life lessons, destructive relationships, friendships, lifestyles, until you make that break and you say, oh, wait a minute. That okay, I understand where I'm going wrong in life. I have a lot of people that reach out and say, you know, I think I've got a lot of bad luck around me. This is happening, that's happening. And then when they let spill what's going on, I realise that they're out partying every weekend, or they're being detrimental to their own lifestyle, but they want a quick fix. And it's like, no, it's really hard work to kind of live a clean life and stay away from dramas and stay away from things that bring us down, especially these days with social media. It's everywhere.
yeah,
I've came right off Twitter. I'm preserving my energy, protecting my energy. It's been a dark, heavy winter, James, hasn't it? It really has
yeah.
for all of
I
us.
don't know, but something clicked in me. Something clicked in me that was just like, you know,
Okay.
it's up to me. It's not up to anybody else.
Absolutely.
Whether when it all comes down to it, the hard question. You want a hard question? I had to ask myself the hard question: what do I actually want in
Mhm.
life?
Mhm.
What do I want
Mhm.
from my friends? What do I want from any relationship? What do I want from my neighbor? Dirty Mac in the house.
Mhm.
Yeah. What do I want?
Hey,
What
thanks
do
for
I want
joining.
from my best friend? What do I want from my landlord? What do I want from my parents or my family members? Every
Mhm.
relationship with every human being is valuable, and it is
Mhm.
different. I can't compare my
Absolutely.
relationship with my brother Shane and
Mhm.
Mac, because our friendships are different.
Yeah,
Do I care about them the same?
absolutely.
Most definitely. I love them all equally,
Absolutely.
but every
Yeah,
person is
I hate
different.
that.
So every relationship takes work, and we got to be
Yeah.
willing to do that work. Um, at the same
And it
time,
works both ways
we're
as well. Yeah, yeah. Like I've had friendships, situationships, and then you realise 3, 4 months down the line, it's all one way. You know, you're the vibrant person wanting to do stuff. You've even been in the situation, I know yourself, and you've got a friend, you're doing stuff, and then suddenly it's like nothing. Or they've used you for what they wanted, their ulterior motives. You know, they come in, drain us, suck all the light out of us, basically. And this is not just like romantic relationships, this can be friendships as well. And then they're done, and then they're off skate, and there's me and you just like, all right,
they might
another
not
one.
even realize they're doing it. A lot of people don't
Mhm,
realize they're doing it,
mhm,
right? So I like to say
mhm,
to myself, if there was nobody else left on this planet and I was here alone, what would I want? What would I be doing? Right?
okay,
I'd be doing my gardening. I would be doing these things. They're the things that I love. So that's what I want to do with
Mhm.
my life, is focus on things that I have complete control
Good.
over, and we learn
Good.
to give less power to things we don't have control over as we're regaining our
Mhm.
own power. And it doesn't mean that I want everyone to get on the selfish, I'm so important, I'm number one mindset that the media and parents have been trying to teach us for 50 years, of like, don't worry about
Mhm.
anybody else, worry about yourself first. It has bred a whole society of narcissistic people that, to no fault of their own, are fuck what they think,
Yeah.
I'm doing me. Right? They
Yeah.
don't really
Yeah.
give a thought about how they're
Yeah.
harming somebody else, or how they're not being what we would consider a better friend, etc., etc. They're not doing it on purpose. It's what their programming has
Mhm.
taught them,
Mhm. They've
right?
been
And that
programmed.
same
Yep. Yep.
programming has taught them that they cannot forgive their abusers.
And on the same level as don't just think about yourself, I'm always preaching to people that nobody's coming to save you. So you have to think of just yourself.
Right?
There's parents that are like, oh, I do it for my children. I'm like, don't do it for yourself, because if mum and dad are perfect, then that just rolls on to, if you're in a good place, you naturally roll on to being the good parent. Don't do
Yeah.
things for kids. Don't do things for others. Do things for yourself. But you're right. There's a thin line, and that's when the narcissists jump on and they're like, oh, yeah, but I'm doing it for myself. So, yeah, I think it's down to the person as well. They can adapt whatever, saying that they want and use it to their own benefit. And like I said, the last stream, narcissists see people like me and you, and they're just like, boom, because we're good people and our heart chakra is open and we do everything from love. And narcissists love that because we're easy prey. It's
Right.
unfortunate,
Right.
But I see them coming now. I see them coming. It's good. Wide awake.
But maybe that's what they
So,
need in this life, because they're using it as a
yeah,
protective mechanism. A lot of people,
true, true,
right? Because
true.
they've
Yeah.
been through so much trauma, or chaos, sorry, that they've become
Mhm.
that way because their ego is trying to protect them, because we have good and negative egos and it's hard to differentiate between the two. So is it a
Yeah.
protective mechanism when people become that closed off and, say, jaded towards others? They're like, I don't need anybody, I can do everything
Mhm.
on my own. Yet when they
Mhm.
do need somebody, they sure as hell use them, right? And then they go back to,
Haven't used
hey, I
yeah,
don't need
exactly.
anybody, I do everything on my own, I don't need
No,
people
true,
around me, right?
true,
So there's
true.
people that
Yeah, no, I
probably
get that.
actively are using that behavior. And there's people who are using those behaviors because it's a protective mechanism that they learned without their own knowledge.
Yeah,
So
yeah, true.
when we do
And
a lot of
maybe
self analysis, is where, like, people like yourself and I, we're constantly self analyzing our own behavior to see if we're worthy of, say, somebody else's affection or attention. Or like a post you had put up
yeah,
about
I think
the reason why I like to help other people so much, I didn't realize, is I'm helping them in ways I needed the help, but I didn't get it.
yeah, I seen that post yesterday. I think my friend Billy sent me it and he was like, "That's you." And
Right,
then I read it and I was like, "Yeah, I get that. I get that." Um, because yeah, I did. Like the post said, it hit me. I was like, "Oh, actually, yeah, I'll take that." But it's
right.
not
So there's
it's not like I
narcissists.
get mixed up and altruistic. Like I don't do it to make me feel better. I do things without a second thought. I'll go out and help, and then later on, I'm like, oh well, maybe because I've done that, I might get good karma. I never go, I'm going to help this person because it's going to give me good karma, or I'm going to
Like,
benefit from
oh,
this.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
help you.
exactly. But saying that, I had two people for Reiki the other day, and the rest of my day was just like the best because I'd been in the spiritual healing environment. It heals me as well. So, in a way, it does benefit me. So, when I've got clients, I'm like, yay, not for the money aspect or the energy exchange, but for this is going to benefit me as well. So
Right.
that, it's not a bad thing to be like that. But when it comes to using people, ulterior motives. Like, I just seem to have been surrounded by people like that ever since I was like a teenager. And as I'm getting older and putting boundaries out, working with energy more, picking it up, I see them now. I see them.
Right.
Yeah. even the closest ones. It's
So,
crazy.
so, so maybe having some forgiveness for yourself and some forgiveness
Mhm.
to the actions, not necessarily the person, I think is maybe
Yes.
a good way for those people that are like, well, I just can't forgive them. Well, don't forgive them, forgive the action,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Because you
Yeah.
can remove the
Yeah.
face then, and just forgive the
Mhm.
action that happened towards you, and it will help give strength
Mhm.
to heal
Mhm.
and forgive yourself and
Mhm.
regain. And obviously, I say yourself because I'm talking to the entire community. And by speaking
Of
as yourself, I
course.
am part of yourself and myself together. We're all a group, we're all one people. I'm not saying anything as
Mhm.
this, like, look how high and mighty I am. Because a lot of the times I'm saying things here that I don't even really realize I'm saying, and I watch it in the after in the replay or whatnot,
Mhm.
and I was just like, "Whoa, bro, that was banger! You nailed that on the head." Because like I have the intent
Brilliant.
of what I want to talk about, but I don't put a lot
Nice.
of time and effort into writing a bunch of stuff down because I want
Yeah.
our community to see the authenticity of who I am
Yeah.
as a person who's not perfect. I have suggestions. I have suggestions that have worked for me.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they'll work for
Yes.
you.
Yes.
And like
Yes. I
I've
call
had
it
things
planting seeds.
right. That's
Mhm.
right. And I just happen to be really good at growing stuff. I have a really natural green thumb.
Love it.
So
I love and you weren't doing that when we first met. You weren't doing the gardening. That was only like the last couple of years, wasn't it?
well, I used to like when I first moved here after I wasn't on house arrest. I started gardening here. I used to call this place Soulfly Farms,
Ah,
and I would go to local markets and sell
beautiful place.
vegetables and stuff like that. But then after my mom got real
Amazing.
sick with cancer and my marriage went to shit, I stopped cutting the
Mhm.
grass and I stopped working. Like the greenhouse had almost completely fallen down other than the frame. I had to put all new plastic around it and repair some shelves
Mhm.
and some rotten
Mhm.
wood because things fall apart if you don't look after them like ourselves,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
But like my
Exactly.
greenhouse, being a greenhouse is way less resilient than a human. After 7 years of neglect and abuse, a couple of years of hard work and care, and my
Mhm.
greenhouse is banger again. Right? So all of
Exactly.
us as human beings that are way more resilient than some chopped down trees and some plastic, trust in
Mhm.
me in that you can heal and become healed so that the
Yes.
trauma doesn't bother you anymore. And it can be like any other thought that rolls through our brain because that's what our brains do. They
Mhm.
create thought. And if they didn't do that, they would not be functioning and we would be invalids, right? So
Mhm.
just know that
Totally.
thoughts are what our brain is supposed to do. And it's us that chooses to grasp onto them and give them power.
Mhm.
A thought
Mhm.
could come into our head.
Absolutely.
Like I'm sure a lot of people in our community have what many of us call intrusive thoughts, where you might be having a wonderful
Mhm.
day and all of a sudden you're thinking about your ex and how much you wish they would stub their toe or trip and break their ankle. But that's not us as a human being. It's intrusive thoughts of negativity that we can say, hey, wait a minute. I don't really wish this person any harm. I just don't want to
No.
think about this person in any manner. And if I do have to think about a person, I wish it would be something that was a good memory, not one of the bad ones or one of them being harmed, because I just
Mhm.
do not consent to these negative thoughts coming into my brain. And then forgive yourself for focusing on it because we're the ones that chose to grab onto that thought and hold on to it. We could have let it
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
We
Exactly.
right? We could have let it go
Exactly.
like a million other things that are unimportant to us.
Mhm.
Well, why are these
Mhm.
intrusive thoughts sometimes so important to us? I believe it's because we're unable to forgive that person because we're unable to forgive ourselves. And if we continue those behaviors, we're going to continue to struggle. So I want us all to forgive one another, even in our prayers and our thoughts, for the people say, like, for the people who can't forgive themselves and the people that harm them, I wish they could find some forgiveness in their heart. Because if they can find the forgiveness in their heart, they can grow, they can heal, they can prosper. And that's what I want from everyone in this community, is to grow and prosper. For those that have healed and they don't come up with thoughts of harm that have happened to them anymore, that is such a blessing, because I know they're out there too. There's a lot of people out there that have healed from their past life traumas, or this life's past traumas, and they can freely, openly discuss them. And it doesn't bring any negative vibration into their life. And that is how we heal others, by our actions, not specifically our words.
Yeah, absolutely. Like a couple of times I have thought of sort of saying my life story. I have been asked on a couple of other podcasts to tell about my chaos, shall we say. But I think in relationships I've had it cast up to me, even in friendships I've had it cast up to me, things that I've went through. So I think that kind of withdrew me. Easy, who's my mod in the comments, he's always saying that I'm a tough nut to crack. But I do let little things come out, because I feel if somebody's like, "Oh, did that happen to Zoe?" or "Oh, did she go through that as well?" I've came out of major darkness, and I'm still on my journey. I'm still facing recovery from the hydrocodone and having really long, tough, hard days. This winter's been definitely the toughest for me. But if somebody else can be like, "Yeah, but she's still smiling," how is she like that? And I'll do little coping mechanisms. Like you said, I plant my seeds. If they want to water them, completely up to them. I feel that if we're like, "Do this, do that," people just go, "Right, okay." They say that if you shine light too bright, people get blinded and they just retreat back into the darkness. So if you just do little slithers or little seeds, and people are like, "Oh, actually, I'll try that," or "Oh, that worked for me." Even just my card readings, if that's given that little person that little bit of hope or a little bit direction, then it's just all positive to me, even at my own detriment, to be fair. But I would one day like to tell people a wee bit more about what I've been through and what I've survived and what I'm a warrior in. But it does leave you very vulnerable when you do it online. So I might just write a book.
Right.
Like many others. And I think I'd be more open in a book,
Well,
because
like
more
I
things
said,
would come to me.
yeah, like myself, for like the online world, I really don't care. I say bring it. You want to call me a coward or some kind of derogatory term or whatnot,
Yeah.
because I choose to have emotions on all spectrums, and I try my best not to tread with the lower vibrational ones for very long, because they're not going to help anybody, right? So
No,
there's going to be
exactly.
people out there that are like, "Oh, whatever, say whatever people want to, because if it bothers me, then there must be some kind of truth to it," right?
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. I get
Because like
that.
if somebody came up
I
to
get
me and
that.
was like, "Oh man, that guy's a racist, homophobe piece of garbage," that would not bother me, because I have friends
You
that
know
are
you're
not
not.
white and I have friends that aren't straight. So if I got upset by
Yeah.
that, it must be like, "Oh, well, am I a bit of a
Yeah.
racist or am I a bit of a homophobe?" But I'm not. So like I challenge it. Well, I don't challenge it. I'm not like, "Hey, why don't you say things about me that aren't true?" Because that's how you gaslight people. And nobody
Yeah.
needs to be gaslit or made to think that they're crazy or whatnot, right? That's not going to help
Mhm.
anybody. Yes, why is it those that are living
Yeah.
in low vibrational energies can't handle empathy? Because our light blinds them and they're not ready to handle that power. Well, some moths only want the moonlight. So I read somewhere
Amen.
once, you can't always be the sun.
I
Sometimes
like
you got to
that.
be the moon, right?
I like that. I like that, because I've always said, being a healer and being the light, a lot of moths get attracted to me and I attract a lot of moths. But I like that. I like that with the moon.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And like there's some people that are willing and ready to be healed and want to dive deep into what's bothering them. And if you got some
Yeah.
carnivoristic healing people out there, toss them some steak if you're
Mhm.
strong enough, right?
Totally. Hey,
Like if they're hungry,
absolutely.
they're hungry. They're like, look, man, I want to figure out how to deal with the fact that I was SA'd or that I was DV'd. Like I need to figure this out. And I don't need any
Yep.
hold my hand, show me the cold water, let me jump in it, or show me the fire, let me walk through it, show me the dark
Yep.
cave, I'll find my way out. Just show me the way to go. Hey, and if you have
Absolutely.
answers that you've used to help yourself, or that you've planted seeds in others and that you saw them grow, we can use their stories to show somebody who's ready and not eager. Because like every relationship, everything is different. Every human being is different. Every situation with every human being is different. Right? We have
Mhm.
good days and we
Mhm.
have bad days. Like
Absolutely.
every one of
Mhm.
us do. And there's some bad days where those are the days that I really need my friends sometimes to test me to see how much I really love, because I'm supposed to love myself as much as I love all of you. And if I'm sitting around wallowing in self hatred, I need my homies to call me on that. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Exactly. And
that's
you've said when you're feeling crap, you'll jump onto my healing group and be like, I love you all. You're all amazing. Because when you're putting that out, you get tenfold back. I love it. Rather than being like feeling a bit shit, feeling a bit low. And can I just say, Dirty Mac, it's all my fault, okay? James never told us we were going live because we weren't going to go live. As you can probably tell, we've had Wi-Fi problems, so we were going to pre-record and upload. And I just had this boost of energy and I was like, James, let's just go live. So yeah, thanks for being with us, Dirty Mac, and apologies. But if you hit that bell, you won't miss any content. Just wanted to say that.
Man, I'm so happy
Like,
for Dirty Mac right now. He's down in Tennessee and they got like 8 inches of snow.
ooh,
So he got to go
no,
tobogganing. And oh man, was he ever kicking some speed down this big hill, rocketing head first in the dark? Like, man, I love
amazing.
it, man.
Wow.
Inner child stuff. Like in Tennessee, they probably don't get to toboggan too
Absolutely.
often.
Absolutely. You've got to embrace things like that. Like you say, your inner child, let it rip. I do it daily. Like I
Yeah,
see the joy in everything. I have fun. I dance about. I do funny voices. Like I live in my own wee world, but I am literally like a 10-year-old seeing
yeah.
everything in wonder. I'll sit and stare at my fish tank for hours. Like, yeah, I'm probably embraced my inner child slightly too much,
I
if you
talk to
can
my
do such a
dog.
thing. Yeah.
I talk to my dog and she answers back. Well, I answer for her and in a variety of voices. Sometimes she's Rastafarian, sometimes she's Chicano. Like you never know. You never know what
You
kind of
make
voice
me
is going
so
to come out of her.
It's not just me. I love it that you admit that you answer back because I do that every morning. And like you say, different voices. And oh
Yeah,
God, I'm not insane. I love it.
of course.
Oh,
Like
that's made me feel completely normal.
I'll lie down and I'll put my head under her head and I'll just start rubbing her face and she'll start licking the top of my head and I'll just start doing
Mm.
commentary like it was Aussie Man Reviews. I'm like, oh, your forehead tastes so good. I could lick you all day. I like the way your stubbly hair feels on my tongue. Oh, this is fun. Oh, isn't this nice? And it's just getting gross. But I just let her be the dog because you know what? I can take a shower, right?
Exactly. I love that. They're here to teach us. Pets are here to teach us. Dogs, especially cats, like whatever you've got, they are here. They found us and they're here to teach us about respect, loyalty, love, companionship. Like for me, it's loyalty. I think that's like why I surround myself with animals, is like they're not going to do anything. Well, they'll piss me off sometimes, yeah. But they have no ulterior motives. They live in the present. They're just there. They don't let you down. Unconditional love. Like, yeah, I'm done with humans.
Well,
I'm done with
I'm pretty
humans.
sure my
Absolutely.
dog does have ulterior motives. Her ulterior motives are he has food. Like
Right, yeah,
she loves,
totally.
as you guys say, some crisps or like we call them potato
Yeah.
chips. Oh man,
Chip
like I'm eating some chips and she's sitting there in the drool just there. It's pouring out of her mouth. She's just like, oh, I want one of those so badly. You know?
I love that. I love that. My boxer used to do that. It was just drool all the way down, just staring at you. It's like,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
I miss having a dog. I do. I might get a dog in my new flat. I'm hoping to move, so I would like to get a new dog. I mean, a dog in a new house, but I do have a small farm at the moment, so I think I just need to lose that. It's a great idea.
Yeah.
Like most people have this idea of getting another pet, and then it's like, oops, what have I done? So yeah, I
Yeah.
think I'll
Like,
just
oh,
stick to
now I
my
have the
two pets.
responsibility of this.
Well, a bunny's really hard to have. A bunny is the biggest tie that I've had because people will watch your cats. Cats go in and out. You can go in and kind of feed cats. I mean, they do need company, but a bunny's different. Like
Yeah.
they're so routine. Like he needs fed at this time. We've got a wee routine, and then if you leave him, he's just going to eat everything. Like your skirting boards, wires. So yeah, I feel that my bunny was probably the biggest tie that I'm just looking at him just now. My big bunny was the biggest tie, so I won't be getting another bunny. So I highly recommend people not to get bunnies. If you are going to get one, please rehome one because they're the third most rehomed pet in the world.
Or eat it.
After cats and dogs. No, you said that for day one. Stop it. My mum keeps saying that. She's like, "Well, we put the slow cooker on for Apollo," and I'm like, and she's like, "You'll get your house back when the bunny goes because it has taken over. There's hay everywhere. There's like, yeah,
Yeah.
but so what? I love 'em.
And they're
I love
delicious.
'em. No, right, okay, I'm gonna start eating canny corsos or whatever they're called now. Obviously not.
Oh, well, hey, you know what? They'd
Just
probably be a good eating dog. There's lots of fat on them, so there'd be lots of good flavor.
Denny, Denny.
All
Like
right,
I'm
let's take
so
this moment.
borderline veggie because of that.
I'd just
Yes.
like to take this moment to whoever's watching right now that is new, that hasn't been here before. I'd like to thank you for joining us because you're a valuable, important human being. And for all the other people that have been here joining us before, you're super valuable human beings as well. And I really do love and appreciate you for who you are and for what you're doing for yourself and the people around you, whether it be the neighbor lady across the street or the old man that you just waved to that randomly was a stranger. You seen him out cutting the lawn. You're just like, hey, want to thank you for those little acts of kindness because those are the things that really make my day better. Knowing that you guys are out there doing the best job you can do at being you. And I love you for it. And I forgive you for any things you've done that weren't perfect. And I bless you for all the things you've done that were perfect. Because you know what? Without you all being the different people that you are and me being the different person I am, it'd be a boring ass place out here. And because we have chaos and we have love and we got rainbows and we got tornadoes, we get to really have a full human experience, which is why we're here. So thank you very much. I love you and I appreciate you.
Yes.
I'd just
Yes,
like to throw
exactly
that
what I
out there.
said. Thank you. I love it. I love your wee motivational. Like I was showing a friend earlier. I was like, "Oh, James, he's amazing. He's high energy." I was like, "What I love is usually when we end the show, I'm like, James, take it over, and your words are beautiful. They're heartfelt. They mean a lot, and it's all truths. It is. You can tell the difference when somebody's really meaning the words, you know." And that's what I like about this wee community is that we're all so real. We're just real, we're raw. I'm struggling trying to live a shamanic life and run a YouTube channel and be on social media. It's like I need to find this, like my heart's like just stay away from the internet and devices and everything. But I'm like, but no, I need to heal people and help people. So I'm having this little internal struggle at the moment. Yeah, it's weird. It's a hard one, James. This winter, I don't know if it's whether they've been spraying stuff in the skies, or I've even taken my smartwatch off because I'm sure that there's some frequency that's just lowered my mood, lowered my motivation. Like, yeah, I think everyone's the same though.
I would say try not to label it, right? Because
Yeah,
labeling it is, it gives you more time that you're thinking about it. And the more time you're thinking about it is the
in
more
the winter.
power that you're giving it. You're feeding it. It's like the fire of negativity. The more you feed it, the brighter, the
Yeah,
hotter it burns. And you got to try and starve that fire out
yeah,
and kill it. And the only way to do it is to not think about that fire, right?
yeah,
So when
yeah,
just bring it back to a positive when you're like, I don't know why I'm feeling like this. say to yourself, it's because I've never been here before. And I don't know what to expect because I'm clean and I'm in recovery and I'm a
Yeah.
beautiful, amazing human being. And I'm not supposed to have all the answers. And I know I'm not supposed to know sometimes
No.
because we sit there and we're like, I don't know why I feel this way. Well, the answer, you just gave it to yourself. You're not supposed to know. You're just supposed to feel it.
No.
You
Totally.
don't have to
Yeah.
label it.
Yeah.
Like the other day, my
Yeah.
chest was feeling all funky, and I was just like, I was almost labeling it of like, man, why am I feeling like this? I'm feeling like I'm in a rush. I'm feeling panicked. And I was just
Wow.
like, wait a minute, man. You're just feeling. Stop
Just
labeling
feeling.
it.
Totally.
It, it's,
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
it's excitement. It's goodness. It's all of them. It's
Mhm.
just right now, it's just a feeling, bro. Stop labeling it and just focus on feeling it. And when I started just focusing on feeling it, the feeling went away because
Yeah.
feelings are momentary, whether it be happiness or
Yeah.
anger or frustration or sadness or
It's
joy.
true, 'cause it
They're
goes.
all
It
moments.
goes.
They're gone. And if you
Absolutely.
really focus on them, they'll disappear a lot quicker. So if you're feeling something
Mhm.
that's uncomfortable, stop trying to label it and start just trying to feel it and watch how fast it goes
Mhm.
away. Right?
Yep. And
Fear doesn't
usually we're
want
programmed
attention.
to get something. So you feel down, take something to make you better, have a coffee, have a stimulant, If you just give it, this is what I've been feeling, and this is me in recovery, remember. If you just distract yourself with it, just something, even doing the dishes or whatever, within 5 minutes, you're not feeling like that. But like you say, if I was to go, oh, I'm feeling really crap, oh, I'm feeling really down, then that's going to carry on all day. So even with physical illness, don't be like, I'm feeling crap, I'm feeling down. Say, I'm healing. Today, I am not vibrating at my highest, but I will be tomorrow. Or, if you keep saying it's true, power of words. We've always said it, James. Power of words, man. It's
Yeah.
scary. There's Teresa and there's Kath. Hi,
Awesome.
Kath. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Shikesh. Hi, Dirtyback. Hi, Shane. Hi, Kim. Hi, everybody. I keep forgetting that we're live because we were going to do the recording thing, and I'm just like, oh, yeah, we're live. It's all good. That's been 45 minutes nearly already, James. That's absolutely mental.
I'm telling
But
you.
I just want to apologise to you, to everybody else. It's been the Wi-Fi. It's been my mental health. It's not easy to just come on and be like, shitting. When inside I'm like, all I want to do is just lie on the couch and watch YouTube or watch like Netflix. But you guys have subbed for a reason. I want to keep the light. I'm the one that goes on about the light and the darkness, but I've just not been feeling I've been at my full illumination, shall we say.
Yeah.
But I'm getting there. The mornings are brighter. My plant medicine has been restored. So yes, onwards and upwards. And I feel this year we have been held in a dark winter, and we've all been held in that space because 2024 is not going to be easy, guys.
Oh, no,
And we're
I
going to need a
disagree.
lot more energy.
I disagree,
You really?
everybody.
Okay.
2024 2024 is an avalanche. There's an avalanche of blessings coming at us.
Yes,
And it's like solar waves, and you can't even fathom the amount of amazing things that are going to happen for each and every one of you this year. I believe it. I thought it was going to be 2023. I really did. I thought 2023 was going to be a storm of blessings. And you know what? There was a lot of great blessings in 2023. But what I realized was 2023 was prepping us for something like we've never seen before in 2024. And if we give it the positive energy, it's going to be the positive things. Right? And I know I'm not always positive. And, Dirty Mac, my homeboy, was the best at that because he said to me one day, he's like, man, you never let people know when you're not doing well. And he goes, that's unfair to the community. He goes, because people need to see that you're not always uplifted and happy or whatnot. It made me realize it's true. It was like I was putting false expectations on the world, right? To just always be happy and always be upbeat and always be uplifted and always be positive, right? So just know that I try my best not to show those things because I don't want to bring down the people in the community that love us all so much.
Exactly what it is. That's it.
But the
That's
thing
why
is,
I don't want to jump on and be like, feeling really crap today, guys. Duh, 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 duh," because they might have been getting them like, oh, Zoe feels shit. I don't want them to go, boom. I want them to be like, all right, God, Zoe does have bad days. God, I have more bad days than good guys, you know? Even when I'm
right.
bubbly, I can still be inside. I'm just like, meh. But you're right. We need to be transparent. If people are kind of looking at us for a bit of guidance or whatever, we have to be transparent, because if we're not being authentic to our community or to ourselves,
Well, we don't want
you
to end
know?
up like Robin Williams, man. God rest his soul. Wore a
Yeah,
smile on his face, made
totally,
millions of people
totally.
lives. Smile, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So, like,
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
hide behind a smile. I'm honest. If I'm not in a good mood, I
Hmm.
say it, but I say, like, can we not talk about it? Like, hey, I'm not doing great, but there's still
Yeah,
blessings in my life, right?
yep.
Just because we're not
Yep.
doing great doesn't mean that we're not appreciative of the blessings we have. But we are meant to
Yep.
feel. We are meant to feel. We are meant to have the roller coasters of emotions. And just remember that we're perfect
Hmm.
the way we are. We're perfectly
Yeah.
imperfect.
And winter's a holding space for us all. We're not meant to be doing this, that, and everything. It's a time to reflect. It's a time for,
Hibernation.
relaxing before we go back into the gardens. Exactly, garden like hibernation. Humans did hibernate. Okay, we didn't go into a burrow and go to sleep for 6 months, but we did. We retreated back indoors, made like you do, making all our purees and preserving all the stuff that we've got from the summer. It's all a process. If you follow like the medicine wheel, like the shamanic wheel I do, explains all that, because it's all processes, and it's
Yeah.
all to do with nature and nourishing ourselves. Even in the winter, we can nourish ourselves with the holding space. I preach to people, it's the winter. You're okay. You're not depressed. It's just the winter. And then what happens? I have a bad day and I'm like, am I depressed? And it's
Yeah.
like, Zoe, just practice what you preach, women. Like, you're telling all these people it's just the winter. Tell yourself that.
Yeah.
And I'm
Or
like, oh, yeah.
depressed, right? Depressed. You need deep
Yeah.
rest,
Deep rest. Exactly.
right?
Exactly. It's your body telling you, listen to your body. If you're having a tired day, relax. But we're programmed to always be on the go. And if we're not feeling good, have an energy drink, have a stimulant. Go and, like I went into one of the supermarkets near here, and every till point, energy, Monster, Red Bull. And I just thought, wow,
Yeah.
that's for all the tired parents that are knackered. They've got their kids, oh, I'll just have 28 grams of sugar. Okay, causes cancer, feeds cancer. We know when you
Yeah.
start realizing how they're programming us to constantly be on the go. That's how we burn out. That's how we get ill. That's how we get stressed.
I
I
don't
see
believe
it
in
all now.
cancer anymore. I don't believe in
Okay.
cancer. I figure if I don't believe in it, it can't get me,
Yeah,
right?
I was like that about the
And like,
corona
really,
thing.
what is cancer? Okay, people have been dumping billions and billions of dollars into cancer research, yet it's still killing everybody, right? Chemotherapy
Well, we know.
kills more people than it saves, right? So
Well
let's just
done.
know that
Because
we're
it gives us
all gonna
oxygen.
die. We're all gonna die, and chances are it ain't gonna be pretty when we do.
Yeah,
So live, people. Live your life.
yeah,
Enjoy your food. If you want to eat a big bag of crisps, do it. Me, if I want to eat a big plate of fries and cheese and gravy, I'm gonna. I'm gonna eat butter. Fuck margarine. I'm gonna eat sugar, but the
I
sugar,
love
like
it.
I don't drink like tea or coffee and sugar with it in it because I don't drink those beverages. I'm naturally caffeinated, but I mean, I make cookies. What's in my cookies? Sugar.
Yeah,
How many of my
yeah.
cookies do I eat? A lot. I make 24 cookies. Every time I make 24
Yeah,
cookies, I give 12 away. And then I eat 12 cookies in a 3-day period.
yeah,
So that's eating
yeah.
like 4 cookies a day. And guess what's in the cookies? Sugar, butter, vanilla, flour, cornstarch, baking powder, and then chocolate chips and
Mhm,
peanut butter chips. So that's mostly fat and
mhm.
sugar, fat and sugar, fat and sugar. Oh, and wheat. So I just say to myself, these are good, healthy cookies because I know what's in them. If you go and buy a box
Yeah.
of cookies at the grocery store, how many ingredients are in it? More than 5,
Oh,
right? All kinds of weird shit
exactly.
that you can't pronounce.
Exactly.
People, I haven't shared my cookie recipe, but I promise you 2024, I'm going to share my cookie recipe on James Collins Cares YouTube channel, because if you're going to eat cookies, you should eat the best ones. And my recipe comes from a pastry chef. And I'm telling you, it's got the perfect crispiness as well as chewiness. And I promise you'll get it this year.
Let's have a bake-off. Let's have a bake-off. You make your cookies, I'll make my cookies, and then we'll sit and eat them online.
Okay.
I
Okay.
can't do that with my cookies. Mine's are special. Mine's are adult cookies, so probably best not to do that. But no, I'd love your cookie recipe. I love all your cooking stuff. You make it look so simple. I'm
Because it is.
definitely going to try your salsa.
Everything,
Be going on about that.
everything is simple. Everything is simple. It's us that decides it's going to be difficult, right? Like I've never made pastry before, ever made pastry in my life. So this year I made a pie dough,
Okay.
and it was badass. I was like, holy shit, this isn't as hard.
Wow.
So this summer,
Nice.
once I have my den cleaned out and I'm not using it for medicinal uses, I'm going to use that
Yep.
for setting temperatures so I can raise and lower like dough and stuff. But I want to make cougamans, which is like one of the hardest pastries in the world to make. But I'm just going to say, look, I know I'm not going to get it right the first time. It might take me a couple of dozen times before I make it. But once I've figured out how to make it, it'll be easy. Right?
Exactly.
You do the hard work.
Exactly. Practice.
Like with baking, just measure all your ingredients properly. Use scales. Don't use measuring cups like, a cup of flour, unless you're going to weigh that cup of flour. Because if you scoop your flour or if you sift your flour, they weigh differently. And you can end up with way too much flour because you just took your measuring cup and scooped it into the bag and really packed it in there, right?
Yeah.
So that's
True.
why most of my baking stuff you see will be weight measurements. Makes it a lot simpler for
Perfect.
people. Because anyone can get a
I
$10
made
set of
shortbread
kitchen
last year. That
scales.
was good. Yeah, exactly. Like you guys are in America as well. They like your measurements are like quarter cup. I'm like, what's a quarter cup? To us, it's all grams or milliliters. Like
Oh,
that
right.
confuses me. I don't like that way. Yeah, because I don't know what a quarter cup is. How many grams is a quarter cup or half a cup?
Well, it would depend. Like a cup of flour is, I believe, what do I have written down? A cup of flour, 1.25 cups of flour is 150 grams.
Right, so I was right. Aye, so about 100 grams for like a cup, maybe. Yeah, that's cool. Because I need to start making shortbread again. I had to
Like my
stop because I
cookie
kept eating it and I
recipe.
got fat.
My cookie recipe is half a cup of butter,
Right.
110 grams of white sugar, 130 grams of brown sugar, 1 egg, a teaspoon of vanilla, 150 grams of flour, a tablespoon of cornstarch, half a teaspoon baking soda, half a teaspoon salt, and then you mix in your chips, and then you refrigerate it.
Aye. Yes.
Yes,
Yes. I do that
always.
with the shortbread. I put it in the fridge for a wee bit, for like a couple hours, and then put in it. Stops like it sort of bleed. I call it bleeding. You know when it just sort of puffs out. It keeps it all inside.
Yep.
Oh, I'm going to have to make shortbread soon.
Oh, I
I'm
watched
gonna
this
have to.
crazy Scottish guy on TV. I was on YouTube looking up shortbread, and he's like, "Oh, you just want to use it a pinch of salt," and he like put like half a handful of salt, and he's like, "And you put in your flour and your butter, and you just mix it around." And I'm like, "Dude, there's no measurements here at all, and that is way too much salt." Like.
God, I need to make a short out of that accent, James. I don't know where you were going with that, but I loved it. We had
Oh,
Irish there, we had Scottish, we had somebody for Birmingham.
yeah,
Like,
just a bit of
your
UK,
accent, you made
you
it.
know. Today we're
I
going
just
to make
love
some
it. I love
Scottish
it.
shortbreads. We're going to add a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And then look, she's done, ready to go. Toss her in the oven, cook her for a while, dip her in your tea. Have a nice day.
James, you just smashed it. Yes. Well done. Oh my God. I've done yoga the other day. My belly hurts.
That's how my
Brilliant.
dog talks to me
that gives me a
sometimes.
giggle.
Yeah, like
I love it, honestly. I didn't know you were so good at doing Scottish. Oh my God, I actually can't see. Sorry. That was brilliant. It was a wee bit Mrs. Doubtfire. I'm only joking.
that's it. You've got
We
to
have
throw
to talk about rock. He would do that. Yeah. I've not heard from him for a while, actually, Mr. Vicentin. Right.
I grew up
Homemade
watching Monty
tablet.
Python, right? So doing accents and just being a silly fucker was always just part of me, right?
Good. Monty Python. Brilliant.
Like the one I shared a
Brilliant.
video in the room the other day, which was a Monty Python sketch of people turning Scottish. And they're like, well, what was the first clue that he was turning Scottish? And he's like, well, I think it was the day that he came home wearing a kilt. It blew all of our minds. Like, yeah, I cannot.
Dark horse, Craig.
I can't live life without watching Monty Python's Flying Circus. And I'm watching it going like, this was made 10 years before I was born. And it's still the
I
funniest thing in the
know.
world. Like,
And the wee white rabbit that turned savage when I got my bunny at first, everybody was, I'm sure it was Randy in that actually, and the group was like sending me things with this savage white bunny.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
funny.
Oh, just
Yeah.
a harmless little bunny, eh? Jesus Christ, run away!
Brilliant. They were beyond their time. They really were with the comedy, them lot. They were
Yeah,
huge in Britain, obviously.
so
Yeah,
good.
Dirty Maxine, sometimes he tries to make you mad, but it never works. I don't
Well,
think I've
I've
ever
said
heard you
to him,
mad either. Well, maybe,
like we video
but
chat and
not
we
like
chat
mad.
often, and I've said to him, I was like, bro, look, I get angry, but please don't try to make me angry. I was like, enough things in life anger us,
Do that.
right? I was like, and then sometimes I know he's just trying to get a rise out of me, and I'm like, you ninja.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Don't poke the bear. Don't poke the.
Yeah,
That I have accepted it not as a negative emotion when used constructively, like as in when people are overstepping boundaries, we need to have that little bit of anger in us if they keep doing it, and standing up for ourselves and things against bullies and stuff. So yeah, I kind of I've embraced it a little bit more anger. I was very like, no, we can't be angry. But then if you do that, people just walk over you. So yeah, I'm
well,
being a
see,
feisty one this year.
I
Be
think when it comes
prepared,
to
people.
bullies, I think when it comes to bullies and people like that, the anger isn't going to work because it's what they know. So I believe that
Yeah.
I believe calm assertiveness works a lot better towards those people because it confuses them and they don't know what to do because they're like, wait a minute. I want this reaction. I want you to be afraid or I want you to be angry. And you're not doing either of those things. I don't know what to do. And they're the deer in the
Yeah.
headlights. And you can give them a wedgie and bully them. No.
I got really angry. I've just remembered. I was thinking, when was the last time I was angry? And it was actually the other day. I went into one shop and I bought coffee. And this always happens when I go into the next shop, the alarm goes off from the coffee from the previous shop. But I'm in there all the time. So I went in, alarms went off, and I went, oh, that's my coffee. And the guys went, no worries. So I've done my shopping. And as I'm leaving, I said to the security guard, this is going to beep because I've got the coffee from B&M. He stopped me, made me go in, get the coffee out the bag, then walk through the. I'm like, mate, like, told you it's the coffee. He was like, no, I need to make sure that nothing else beeps. And I was like, my mum was with me, and I think that's what kept the calmness in me, but I was raging. And I was like, but I've just told you it's the coffee. And he was like, no. And he made such a scene of it, lifting the coffee above my, honestly. So when I'm outside, pardon my French, but I was like, he's a fucking. Oh, I'm Scottish, right? Come on. So I'm like, he's an F and F. My mum's like, he's doing his job. I went, no, he wasn't doing his job. He was being a prick. I'm sorry, but he was that pure. I'm a security guard. She's like a wee lassie. I wish. But like, I don't know. I just thought, no, that was anger. And I was like, right, I'm going to write to Lidl's. I'm going to go to the head office. I'm going to do this. And
Right.
then 10 minutes later, I'd calmed down.
No, but
And I
he,
don't get raging with you every day, Craig. Check me raging. Craig
so
says I get
to
angry
those
every day. When
people, I like to get them too and catch them off guard big time. I'm like, you realize you work for a faceless corporation that doesn't care about you, and you're worried that I might be stealing a $1 item, which I'm not. And like, do you feel that you're somehow lining your pockets by stopping me and asking to search my groceries? Because, you know,
Mm-hmm. I was really angry, like, and it did take me like 10 minutes to calm down, but I was like, oh, I forgot I've not had that feeling for a while
Yeah. No, but
because I've never been in
it's
a situation
justifiable
that
though.
made
It's
me like that.
justifiable, right?
Yeah.
If you get accused of doing something you didn't do, it is natural instinct to be offended and to get angry,
Yeah, yeah, and then
right?
when my mum was like, it's like, "Well, he's just doing his job," I was like, start getting angry with her. But no,
Yeah,
I think it was embarrassing because everybody was looking as well, you know, and I could have
yeah.
pulled the mental health card and be like, "I've got PTSD," but like that's not his problem. He doesn't know that. I could have had 10 jars of coffee in my jacket, and I get that, but it was the fact that I went in and made, oh, it's me with the coffee. All right, yeah, 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 and
Well,
then
you should have
proceeded to
just
do
said,
that.
"Mom."
Oh,
You should have said, "Mom, get your cell phone and start recording," and pulled a Karen. Got down on the ground.
yeah,
Don't embarrass
didn't he?
me. And
Literally,
just had a straight
I
up
know,
tantrum. That would have been
I
funny.
don't, I know. That would have been funny, and I've seen a lot of people taking tantrums in that shop, like, that's what Craig said. The thing is, I bet you did have 40 jars of coffee in your mum's bag. Like,
Yeah.
we both had big fur coats on because it was really cold, and we had loads of shopping, so yeah, we could have just, like, and I get that, but it was the attitude. See, if he just went, "Listen, is there any chance you could take the coffee out of the bag? Then I'll just check," I would have been like, "Not a problem, sir." But it was the, "Get the coffee out the bag," and I was like, "What? What?" It's like, "What are you talking to me?" Yeah, I think I'm still raging now. I will write a wee email to Lidl's though, because there was no need for that. And people
I
need to
think
be reprimanded for being assholes, I
I'm
think.
gonna nail you with this one good. I think it would be in your best interest to forgive him.
Yeah, no. See, when I see him the next time, I'll be like, "Hi, pal." So that behind his back. Nah, I'm only joking. Um, I don't. No, it's true because he's obviously got a bit of an insecurity in his life, and he needs to make himself feel a little bit better by being the big man
Yeah.
in the security job. So yeah, I get that. I'll pray for him. I'll send him healing.
Yeah, like he's probably sad because he couldn't be a cop. As Ricky from Trailer Park Boys would say, "Hey man, you're not even a mall cop. You're a security guard. Like
Trailer
get over
park. Oh my
yourself."
God. It's so funny. Oh, there's another thing I was introduced to. I think it's on Netflix though. It's an Australian comedian who does different characters. Oh, I need to remember the name of it, and it's hilarious. Ah, I'll find it for the next time. One of the funniest things I've seen in a long time, and I rarely laugh out loud to things on TV and stuff. I know that sounds a bit mad because I'm always laughing, but yeah, it takes a lot for a comedian to really make me laugh or like a funny show to make me laugh. But yeah, I need to find it. If anybody knows what it is, it's on Netflix and it's an Australian dude, and they do lots of like characters. And one woman's like 7 foot and she's got massive legs, and she's just joined the universe. Oh, you need to see it. Honestly, I
Nice.
hope somebody in the comments knows what I'm talking about before I look completely insane. But
Josh
yeah, I
Blue. If you like some laugh out loud comedy, Josh Blue is hilarious.
okay.
He's got MS and
Oh
he
God.
uses his disability in his humor. And he's so good. He's so good.
I'm just looking for this because lunatics. That's what it's called, lunatics.
Okay. You're going to have to
And
share a
it is
link though.
yes. I can't do that on this.
No, no,
I'll do it on the group.
in the Telegram after the stream.
Yeah. Lunatics. Absolutely hilarious. I was literally sitting crying, like watching it because it's just mental. So
Great.
yeah, definitely. But we're just over an hour, hun.
I was going to
So
say
I think
that.
we should. Oh
Yeah.
wow! Hey, that's
I was like,
good
hey,
news.
we've just gotten to our hour mark here. We should probably cut this short because Zoe and I
I
will sit
know.
here and chat all day, all night, and you guys would get bored. One of these days we'll do a 24-hour stream just for you. No.
We should. We should. Exactly. We
Yeah,
can raise love for Pure Love Foundation. Absolutely. So
yeah,
anything you want to leave us on? I know you said a beautiful thing earlier, but
yeah.
this is
I
what
just
we do.
I just want to, thank you all again. I just want to thank you, and I want you to thank yourselves, and I want you to do your best to forgive the people around you that have harmed you. Like Zoe said, and I say, it doesn't mean go up to their face and say thank you for hurting me, and I forgive you, and I want you back in my life. It just means reclaiming your power. Let's do our best, everyone, to reclaim our power this year and find out the little bit of narcissistic tendencies that we all have and work on destroying them so that we can be more thoughtful, more kind, compassionate, understanding human beings. None of us are perfect. Not me, not you. Remember that. And thank you. I love you.
Absolutely. I love that. Thank you all for watching. We're going to love you and leave you with that. If you've not already, hit the thumbs up. If you're watching a replay, thank you so much. James, thank you ever again. And I can't wait for our next stream. So, love and light to all of you. It's nearly springtime.